440. So I'm not like getting these big, huge numbers. Kind of an action scene, an action escape scene. So it's kind of fun. Or a character surprised me by existing. A grand total for January writing. I did not meet my 30,000 word goal for December, but I just did the math and I ended up writing 20,554 words in December. My goal was 30,000, so I'm still glad that I got, 2/3 of that. I've only written 3 days so far this month. It's currently January 17th. One day was 495 words. A week later, I did 546. And the next day, I did 919. So, not a ton yet this month, but our document is at 49,007 words. So, if I write 1,000 today, we'll get to 50K, which is really cool. I think I just felt a little like, oh, I didn't meet my challenge. Like, that's sucky, But it really doesn't matter. A challenge, if not meeting a challenge, is gonna put me in a rut so deeply, I probably shouldn't challenge myself to that degree. Like, maybe I could challenge myself, like, I don't know. Like, I feel like 10K a month feels really like it would keep me on track. I'd probably go over it. But it would feel like a win, Um, but yeah, I think I'm also just at a part where I've been thrown a new character that I really love, going to this different planet, and I didn't know that she was gonna be in it. um, so I don't know what to do with her yet. So I've been thinking about her a ton, in between and stuff. So anyway, I'm currently making breakfast and sourdough, and I love sourdough, period. But I also love, for the stretch and folds, it has 30-minute intervals, which is about how much I like to do a sprint of writing. So I want to integrate, like, maybe that's something I can do, because I've been doing sourdough every few days, like every 3 or 4 days. I'll take my starter out and like get it going to do like a loaf the next day. So maybe at least every time I do sourdough during the 30-minute intervals, I can like system out, that's when I write, at least, like, bare minimum. But anyway, I'll stop rambling for this intro. I hope you've been having a good month, and let's get to writing. We are having ourselves a little snow day today, and I feel like I finally got a little system in place for my writing rhythm that I really, really like. Almost out of coffee. So, I am creatively, or just in life, a responder. Like, it's part of my design, human design. You know, won't go into that right now, but I was like thinking about this while I was struggling to put writing into my like more daily rhythm without it being like a big challenge or a big push, basically. Like, it needs to just be part of my rhythm. So I've started reading the last chapter every morning. I always make sweet potatoes for breakfast, so there's a 30-minute timer going, and I'll just read what I last wrote. Sometimes it doesn't bring any writing, and that's okay. Most of the time it does, though, so far. um, and let's see, yeah, the 22nd I wrote 880 words, 23rd 654, 24th yesterday 440. So I'm not like getting these big huge numbers, but it's better than zero. And I feel like I'm in my story and yeah, doing my story, you know? So currently I'm at 51,249, which is so exciting. I don't know if I mentioned when I hit 50K, but that's an exciting day, obviously. And yeah, I have already been in here for 7 minutes of my 30-minute timer, so I'm gonna go ahead and jump in and do some writing, or at least reading. But yeah, that's been really working for me, and I'm excited to see how I end up finishing out January because we have basically 1 week left. And yeah, so I shall write. That was like a 20-minute timer. A little bit of my breakfast is still cooking, so I'm pretty into a scene right now. But let's just do the math. Progress. So that was 738 words just then. And the scene is like, it's kind of an action scene, an action escape scene. So it's kind of fun. And yeah, I didn't even know. I think whenever I am in my story, I have my outline and I have all these. My outline is just big points. And I know where they're at, where they're going. But sometimes when they get to a new place, I don't know. Either things surprise me and then I'm like reworking it in my brain, like I don't know, like I'm working on a new character and stuff, or I know some of the information that they need at the new place and I provide that for them, but then I don't, like, I'm trying to figure out maybe the conflict of that place, or if there is a conflict, or just stuff like that. And I find when I get stopped by those things, I just get in my head a little bit and I don't feel like writing because I feel like I want it to be these good, crazy scenes all the time, and that's just not how writing really works for me. And there's moments where I've really learned to love the monotony of a scene and what other things can I give them? Like, is there a little bit of romance, a little bit of flirting, a little bit like, is there something between these two characters and not the main character? Like, there's so many different things you can work into it to keep the pace feeling like there's still plenty of vital information that you're getting and it feels like the correct amount of time for them to be somewhere. Like, you're not just like, oh, they're here, and then they got their info and then they left. Like, that's just boring. Things need to happen. Um, so I find when I'm in those moments where I'm like, oh, I didn't exactly flesh out like what all was going to happen here, or a character surprised me by existing. Um, yeah, I just feel stuck almost, but I think rereading it every morning has really started to just help me get through it. And then I get really excited for the next part. And then, yeah, it's just the peaks and valleys of writing a book or doing anything creative. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm starting to learn how I write, which is really how I write without, being in a big challenge for myself and stuff. Because I want it to be something that I'm revisiting really, really often, or I can just forget about it for like 2 or 3 weeks, um, and think, oh, I want to be writing. It's like, okay, what's stopping you? Hi, hello. It is currently February 1st, and I am just buzzing with February energy. So much is happening in February, like astrologically for me and just in general. I'm buzzing today. So I just wanted to go over. I feel like November was my novel. It's speaking to me again. Like, let's get back into it. There's that like love affair almost that you start. You're like, ah. And then December was this big challenge push, and it was like 1,000 word days, 2,000 word days. Like, it felt good, right? And then January was like, okay, how does this fit into your life, like long term? You're going to have those pushes and those exciting things, um, of course, but like that's not going to be every month. So let's be realistic. How do you actually work with this? Like, every day, And I am a responder. Like, I need things to respond to. My own excitement can be one of them, but when that leaves, I have to decide like how will I respond to something? How can something just like be in my orbit a little bit? If it's something like this, a long-term goal that I want to be in my orbit. So the beginning of January, and I'll put up the little calendar I have that's like all the words I wrote. The beginning of January is pretty slim pickings in terms of like writing. But then whenever I thought about the responding energy, which I probably talked about a little earlier in this vlog, I can't remember the last time I checked in. Um, I've been on now a 9 day writing streak, which feels really good. It hasn't been 1,000 word days. Like, the lowest is probably like 440. The highest was a 1,000 day, but they're averaging like 500, 600, 800, like, and I'm just letting that be okay. The point is to be with the story. And I'm not even saying that I have to write every day. I'm just reading the last chapter at least every day, or the last paragraph. If I know I'm going to write, I'll read like the last paragraph or two and be instantly inspired. So I'm just responding to what I'm reading and not just like trying to extract all the time. So that's really been helping me. So a grand total for January writing was 9,020 words, which is not nothing. And most of that was the last 9 days. So, yeah, I think that's sort of my plan going into February, is to just keep checking in daily like that. I think that's just what's been working for me. Another thing that I've been doing is leaving myself off at a cliffhanger, like as I'm writing, because I write while I'm making breakfast. So if breakfast happens to be ready and I kind of cut off my train of thought a little bit, and get out of that flow. Sometimes I'll go back to it in the day. It's not as likely. I like having just like the morning whenever I'm writing. But if I leave myself off at a little cliffhanger at the very end, that's something to respond to as soon as I get back the next day. I'm like, oh my gosh, oh yeah, like they need to figure out this like intense situation. Yeah, if you're writing a book or doing anything really big like that, like let a small amount be okay. If you're not feeling a big challenge, a big surge in it, and give yourself something to respond to, I think is my takeaway for January with when it comes to writing. So yeah, let's see what February holds. I don't know. I always get such a good energy for February. And like, I think a lot of it is that it's my birthday month and I'm just excited about that. But I'm just still feeling a good energy. Not gonna question it. I'll at least have a video like this where I do a writing recap for each month. I think that'll be really fun. Let me know what you're writing, what you're working on, if you're working on something or any other kind of project. I would love to hear down in the comments. And if you want to watch any more of my writing blogs, I have a whole writing my debut novel playlist